All right. So I wanted to talk about the state of the music industry. I've got some exciting things happening lately, but I think I'll talk about that in a different vlog. I am really excited at a lot of things that are happening, and I'm actually really excited at this opportunity for me to jump back into the music industry so head first as I have. Big thing is talking about gear. I feel like, as well as in computers, the thing about gear, there hasn't been any huge leaps forward in stuff happening with gear. I'm really excited to see the things that are coming out, and I feel like we're just approaching this pivotal moment where things are really starting about to get real. Because what I've seen lately, or at least in the past couple of years, is what happens is basically you have this new synthesizer that sounds pretty good that gets trendy and everyone starts to use it, or you've got this new synthesizer that gets trendy and everyone starts to use it. DJ stuff is pretty much plateaued, and now especially with the release of the new Pioneer Nexus 2 equipment, there isn't much difference between your virtual DJs and your, state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line flagship DJ products, players. So as far as music production goes, I don't think there has been much change at all. I mean, Ableton and Logic and Pro Tools and Cubase and Sonar and Fruity Loops, they haven't been doing anything remarkable. I think, the biggest thing that's changed in any of those big players in the last couple of years, at least as far as the, grassroots music production is concerned, because of course there's been a ton of digital console stuff where you have a console with tons of DSP processing in it, doing things standalone. And especially when you talk about Pro Tools, some of the larger Avid consoles, they are making big leaps and bounds as far as their processing power and what they can do. But when it comes to grassroots style production, for the person who's making music with a laptop and a MIDI controller, there hasn't been a lot of changes. I'd say the biggest one, like I was about to say, was the push. I think the Ableton push really took leaps and bounds forward as far as music production. And I feel like it was a really good experiment and a good reach towards a music production instrument. I'm excited now that Beardy Man's instrument has gotten to the point where he feels comfortable to perform it. And I'm really curious to see what comes about of that. Like if it just stays his to play with and work on and as his performance tool, or if he actually puts it to market and puts it for sale or and hands it out to people. I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting to see. I would love to use it. I don't know what that looks like. I don't have like $6,000 to invest in computers and controllers to make that happen. But yeah, I think it's cool. The other thing I'm excited about in the music industry that's going to be released soon is Loopy Masterpiece Edition, which Tasty Pixel hasn't released an update video in a while, so I'm curious as to see what's happening with that. I mean, I'm sure he's working on, many projects at the same time, but specifically Loopy Masterpiece Edition promises to be basically on an app, one of the most configurable, most powerful looping environments on the planet. And his priority seems to be right, and I'm really excited to see that. And if you want more details about that, he goes through a lot of his design process inside of his videos. Feel free to subscribe to a Tasty Pixel on YouTube, because he's really a cool guy. And I'm still amazed. I mean, I use Loopy HD every day. So, the big thing for me that I'm excited to see, which I think is this kind of tipping point that we have, is things are going to start to be more integrated, and I'm creating this theory dangerously. I'm going out on a limb here because I feel like what is going to start happening is things are going to become more and more seamless. And we're starting to see some of this, or at least steps in the right direction. When you look at like the Electribe series Korg stuff, where the new Electribe sampler and the new Electribe synth, I don't know if it's called the synth or it's just called the Electribe, you can export Ableton Live sets. Pretty cool. Now, when I first realized this, I did not realize that it wouldn't export like MIDI data in a sampler instrument. It instead exports just audio loops, which to a degree, is still super useful and still cool. But I would have really liked to see, instead of that, an Ableton Live set that you can then go in and tweak. Similarly, as I'm looking at workflows on my phone, I would love a way to have like a 4-track simpler, or like a 4-track 16-pad Ableton Live, 4-track 16-pad Ableton Live sequencer, basically. Maybe like an EQ3 on some things, or just simple, not even, no EQs, just that stuff. So just volume, and then maybe like 2 effects, like a reverb and delay or whatever, or delay and a chorus. Who knows? But I would really like to see that, and then to be able to save that, and when I get home to open it on my computer. To me, that would be incredible. And as I'm thinking more about this and talking this out loud, when you look at the Novation Groove box that just came out, which I'm terribly sorry, Novation, that I'm forgetting what it's called, it seems like a kind of an effort to a push in the more standalone direction. And so for producers now who are on their phones, who are, have a couple $100s to invest in an external groove box or a controller like Push, I think what we're going to see start to happen is, and especially when Machine and Push are so unbelievably popular, is for these devices to start to get sort of a little bit of standalone functionality, or at least a way to work closely with an app and have things communicate more seamlessly. I think the closest thing to this right now is the Machine app. And while the Machine controllers don't integrate with the Machine app, which I think would be a really cool step in the evolution of Machine and of them as a performance environment, production environment, I think that's what I'm so excited about, is this integration. And I say they take inspiration from the computer industry because at CES this year, they announced the external graphics card. There's another company making an external graphics card, which, as much as that is like kind of a lame, silly, like, okay, yeah, so you can take a laptop and game on it, for someone like me who's doing video rendering, where I'll work on the edits while I'm sitting at my desk or while I'm sitting on the couch, and then I will set my computer down to do the render, or even if I have to be plugged into the video card while I'm editing so that the editing workflow is faster, it would be so amazing to have that kind of GPU acceleration for my video editing and to be able to do it on the same machine that I'm using now. Now, my machine doesn't have USB 3.0 and there's a couple other limitations, so this is kind of, regardless of how that would integrate into my setup, it couldn't be integrated now. I don't have Thunderbolt, I don't have USB 3.0, so just getting an external graphics card for my setup now doesn't work. But basically what I'm saying is being able to kind of modularly put things together and have them seamlessly work, in my opinion, seems to be a really cool next step for things. Because as we've all noticed, computers haven't been getting faster, they've just been getting better at multitasking. Or we've been able to work we've been able to get multiple components to work together better to process things faster. So as far as where the music industry is going, that's my prediction for where things are going. You're going to see this new development or this new push towards these tight integrated workflows where things are more seamless together, rather than here's another VST synth with 48 oscillators and full frequency modulation table and full modularity. I don't know. I think that's why modular synths have made a comeback, is because those people who were crazy synth heads and had all the plugins have now decided to reach for something that is going to give them a little more of that instrumental quality. Yeah, it's going to be great. So I have an hour to use the carpool lane, so I'm going to do it. Anyway, that's kind of my update on the music industry. I'm watching an interview with Scott Storch right now, so we'll get back to that. Have a great day.